Welcome back everyone, 3 more episodes to go. Episodes 11 to 13 of Season 1 of Winx Club The Magic is Back. I'm actually looking forward to these, not because it's almost over, but because by this point there should be less experimentation with what the series is, and it should start to take shape. The visuals should be good enough by now, and there are going to be more revelations in the story that should keep us quite entertained. I will also be doing a full review of this first half of the season at the end of the video, so I'll put the timestamp here for when that starts if you'd like to jump there instead. Quickly pointing out again that there will be spoilers for these 3 episodes of the series, but with that out the way, let's get right into it. Episode 11. Faragonda was telling Bloom in episode 9 that she wasn't really doing well in her studies, so we now start with Bloom stepping it up and acing the WizKids midterm. Good for her! The visual effects used for Bloom's spells are some of the better ones that we've seen in the series. They're starting to use proper transitions, and it looks like it matches the environment a bit better, so I approve of these.
Ew! Perfect score! Yes!
I was 78.3% sure you would fail.
Be more positive!
I was 78.3% positive you would fail.
Guys, I think Techna's my favourite character in the reboot. I know this is typical humour that they've given to her, but I'm enjoying it, I can't lie. Bloom appreciates that she's better at tests now, but she does want more field training to know how to defend herself from anyone who wants to take the Dragon Flame. And we've now learned that Robin likes to contribute to the Winx breaking the rules, so she offers to meet Bloom in the Dark Forest for some kind of one-on-one training.
I just thought I'd do a little better on the bench press today.
You won't see this old wizard benching any presses, Sky.
The Tricks have been assigned a new plan from Vexius, and this is reminding me of the original Season 2 Episode 10 and Season 3 Episode 10, when they had to sneak into the different colleges to eventually take them over.
We're from Althea. Come on, let us in. There was a terrible accident. Oh, the pain!
In this instance, they don't really have to disguise themselves because they are students at Althea now, so they can come into Red Fountain as they please. But clearly, the specialists are the ones that suffer in this case. Darcy gives them the specialist suits to be able to continue their infiltration plan, and they look ridiculous, but I do love it.
Working out?
They hit the security terminal to take down Red Fountain's protective barrier. This is definitely reminding me of the original Season 2 episode 8 to 10 plot where they were trying to get the codex from Red Fountain, and the whole concept of taking down Red Fountain first is also reminiscent of original Season 1 episode 20. Isn't it sad that Red Fountain's always been considered the weakest school? It's the first target in every single attack, it's so funny.
Emergency at Red Fountain.
Guys, this sounds serious.
Magic Winx!
I think this may be the first time ever that Bloom is randomly scattered in the middle of a transformation order, because we start with Aisha, then Techna, Musa, Flora, then Bloom, and we finish with Stella. I like it this way, it kind of disperses them out, and I hope we see it like this more often.
What's going on?
The power of Vexius!
Here we get Vexius finally making himself known in public, the reason being because he finally has the Dragon Flame. How does he have it? Well, we know it's from Damien, but nobody else does.
Did I miss something?
Was that it? Am I missing something?
When did Vexius get all this power?
It's the Dragon Flame. It has to be. Is our deal happening or what? That's what I want to know.
Even the Tricks are confused, so from here we realize that their plan to double-cross Vexius before he double-crosses them did not work, I'm afraid. I kind of wish they had succeeded.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is not good news.
Bloom, doesn't he look familiar?
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn minute.
While Vexius is attacking Red Fountain, the Winx have finally put 2 and 2 together that Vexius is Damien's father, the guy from the concert, the shadow in the simulation room. It's all taken them a bit too long to figure out, but fine. Saladin versus Vexius, we love to see it. This purple VFX cloud not matching the rest of the plate, we don't like to see it.
Yes!
Everybody hits their celebration pose and then they just like float around in idle animation. Techna doesn't even blink afterwards and she's on screen for way too long. Vexius was officially defeated by Saladin. JK, he's back, surprise! And this time he reveals the actual dragon flame. Of course, Bloom is gagged. How did this happen? Saladin, you did not deserve this, I'm so sorry. Tekna, out of all the characters being the one to explain Omega to them, I appreciate the connection that they've given her to the Omega Dimension because of the original Season 3 Episode 13, and at this point she's also establishing that there's no way back from there. So let's assume that Saladin has earned his Enchantix and he's officially gone. Sky is mourning this loss, and we did see that with how much he respected him in the last episode, but there is such an inability to express with these 3D models that none of them look as upset as you'd imagine.
I defeated Saladin, one of the last members of the Company of Light.
I'm curious to know who else forms part of this reboot Company of Light, because Farragonda and Griffin were members in the original, but they don't seem to be considered part of it now. But clearly they knew Vexius and Vexius knew them because he referred to Farragonda by name when she arrived. So I guess we're just waiting for that reveal later. And Vexius just flies off. Okay, but more importantly, he's leaving Bloom with all kinds of doubts. And this isn't one of those minor inconveniences that's going to make Bloom leave Althea. It is much worse than that. Emerging from Farragonda and Griffin's portal, we see Robin instructing the fairies to use their healing spells, which we've never seen anybody learn in class. Well, I guess something similar was the Dark Bloom healing ritual, but that was done privately. I don't think anybody else was taught that.
Well, at least now you have an excuse to move out of this stump. I know. You can move in with me.
Diaspora just roasting the campus is crazy, as if it's not roasted enough in all those flames. Very original Season 1 Episode 20 of her. Are there textures missing in Aisha's wings? The specialist moving into Althea is very OG Season 1.
We had no idea what Vexius was planning.
You're telling the truth. Working with Vexius is still extremely serious. Your punishment will be unpleasant.
I'm glad that despite Griffin being able to see that the tricks weren't involved in Vexius's plan, she doesn't ignore the fact that the three of them were still in cahoots with him. Here we get the first reveal of the former royal family of Domino, featuring Vexius, so that deems his backstory from episode 4 to be true.
It wasn't from Bloom.
You should tell her that. She probably blames herself.
Robin and Farragonda established that Vexius's dragon flame didn't come from Bloom, by which point it's too late because Bloom has randomly run back to the Red Fountain ruins.
How did this happen?
I can tell you how.
That voice!
She should be here.
The Company of Light has won before and will do so again. We will prevail so we can all live in harmony. You must find her and bring her back to Althea.
Here is Farragonda's lecture in history class from 2 weeks ago.
Lightrock Fortress is the heart of all magical power.
The mention of Lightrock Fortress reminded me more of the fortress where the tricks are taken as punishment for their wrongdoings in Season 1 and Season 3 as well. But here it seems to be making more of a reference to Lake Roccaluce. Instead of going with the Italian words Roccaluce, they've gone for Light Rock, which mean the same, but yeah, it's a shame. They say that Lightrock Fortress is the heart of all magical power, and it was the Company of Light's headquarters in the war that happened 16 years ago. The Winx are concluding that Vexius would definitely want to destroy it, but Stella reminds them that the fortress doesn't reveal itself to just anyone, at least according to Farragonda's lesson.
What? I was paying attention.
Let's go.
Magic Winx!
We then get a transformation sequence with just the 5 girls without Bloom, and it's nice to see one of these so late in the season. It reminds me of the original Season 2 episode 25, when they went to rescue her from the Shadow Phoenix, and their suspicions were correct. Bloom is going to Lightrock Fortress to search for the voice in her head by calling out for some spirit girl. Yeah, that's gonna work.
Lightrock Fortress.
It took us till episode 12 to get any kind of on-screen transformation. I think that's insane. But hey, we finally got one.
Welcome. We never get visitors.
Are you an android?
Interesting to bring this character that's definitely a reference to Bartleby from the first movie, even though he's acting quite modern. But I guess it makes sense because he would have been programmed 16 years ago.
about to fall off!
When the Winx are flying to Light Rock Fortress, we see Stella's wings sinking into her head, which is definitely not intentional.
Stella, we're on a mission. Yeah.
Varagonda said locating Bloom was top priority.
So why isn't she helping out at least?
She's got a point.
Yes, Aisha, you're asking all the right questions. Why aren't they doing anything? Why are they just drinking tea most of the time? Oh god, now we get goofy Palladium. Here we go.
Down on the ground!
I meant the bad guys, not you.
Oh, yes, of course.
They didn't show it at first in this scene, but we can assume they're in Cloud Tower. I feel like they should have given us an establishing shot for that. So then Palladium seemingly finds Vexius's lair in the Cloud Tower ruins, and something about this still makes it look like it's from an old Barbie film. The reboot Bartleby android shows Bloom around the fortress. There's this statue of Marion, which definitely resembles Bloom, and we get a slight hint at Bloom slowly figuring this out by looking into the mirror, which was conveniently placed next to the statue.
Wait here, please.
The way Bloom slid across that floor, did they mean to do that, or did they run out of time?
Is it not the most beautiful tiara you have ever seen?
I'd recognize that voice anywhere! Princess Daphne!
What is going on with Daphne's eyelids? And most importantly, what is going on with her forehead? Jeez! They need to pull her eyebrows down and pull that wig line up. Everybody says that Oratel's wearing a onesie, but I think it's just the bad quality hiding the fact that his shirt and trousers are the same color, which is still quite bad. Although we all know that this is Bloom's family, Bloom doesn't know this yet. And I completely missed this in my first watch for some reason. I just assumed that this was her discovering her family. But no, this is just the royal family of Domino. The three of them. Cool.
Spirit girl!
This poor run cycle. You know what I was saying at the beginning about how these episodes must have better animation by now? Clearly not for Bloom, I'm afraid.
I was just kidding.
Here we have the three randoms. First, she randomly falls. Second, she randomly transforms. And third, the song gets a random cut. In order to see more about the story of Domino at Light Rock Fortress, Bloom has to pass a few trials. The first trial is her determining that this Techna that comes up to her is fake. The second is not listening to the Bartleby android's precautions and going in to help Aisha and Musa anyway. Something about bravery, I guess. And then the third is about judgment, where she can only save either Stella or Flora, but of course she chooses both and finds a workaround. This opens up a portal which is going to lead her to Daphne.
Please, just go.
The Bartleby android is desperate to just get Bloom to leave. So Daphne says that her spirit form can only manifest in this specific atmosphere, and this seems to be the replacement location for Lake Rocaluce. It seems similar enough. It reminds me more of the little pool inside of the Domino Castle in the second movie. Daphne doesn't know where to begin with what to tell Bloom, but in my mind, I think the first thing would have been to say, "You are my family, I am your sister," because that may have led to most of the questions answering themselves, but I guess in the heat of the moment, Daphne just forgot. Also, speaking of Daphne, her design, everything is this bright yellow. It's difficult to see. I have to push my screen backwards in order to get a glimpse of any of these details. I wish each different object in her design had a different shade of yellow or orange, just to be able to differentiate the features. Anyway, Daphne tells Bloom that the dragon flame that Vexius took wasn't hers, which makes Bloom realize that the dragon flame is not unique because otherwise she would be the only one with it. To which Daphne replies that something very special happened to lead to this phenomenon, and this is where we get the flashback of the lies that Vexius fed Damien in order to get Damien's dragon flame.
You don't have all the flame. Half was stolen.
Who took it?
Bloom's family, who were and are criminals.
Damien, for some reason, buys this act in about 30 seconds and willingly gives up the flame to Vexius, which is coincidentally what that book from a few episodes earlier said had to be done to be able to transfer the flame. So, you know, Vexius is high and mighty now, he's happy. Damien is not, because he's just realized that him giving up his powers contributed to the destruction of Red Fountain.
I need you to go with me to Light Rock Lake.
Why?
I always want you by my side.
You're not going to destroy anything today, are you?
Red Fountain needed to be rebuilt anyway.
Is that line a reference to the original Red Fountain being reconstructed in season 2? Don't know what's happening here, but that is the ugliest animation I've ever seen on Damien, and that's saying something. Light Rock Fortress is kind of giving me Elsa's tower vibes from Frozen.
This means Bloom is in serious trouble. That's for sure. Huh? Tricks? You gotta be kidding me.
The Winx and the Tricks are so close to having the perfect location for an open battle, and then suddenly...
Wait! Stop! If we keep fighting, we're going to alert Vexius.
Fine.
Flora steps in and says, no, this is not in everybody's best interest. We need to be quiet and go our separate ways. Ugh. So then the Winx go in, but the Tricks stay outside waiting for Vexius? I don't think that's a very Tricks thing to do, but okay.
There's something strange about it. I feel like I'm at home somehow.
Of course, the first thing Damien does when he sets foot on Light Rock Fortress is say that he feels at home. Oh, mystery. What could this mean?
Lead the way.
I really can't take Damien seriously, guys. What is this shot? I think this is the first time we've ever seen Daphne walk as a spirit, because she's usually floating in the original series. The concept of Daphne having a walk cycle feels very unusual. And now they're outside of the lake, so I'm assuming when Daphne said that this is the only place where I can manifest my spirit form, she meant the fortress as a whole, because, you know, they're not at the lake anymore. But you can see her outfit a lot better than you could down there. So, Daphne, I think you better stay up here.
What's different this time?
What's different is you were born a twin. His name is Damien.
Damien?
Oh.
We are finally given the revelation that Bloom is a twin. Huh? Bloom and Damien have just been confirmed to be twins, and that's why they've shared the dragon flame. Guys.
I still have so much to tell you.
Oh yeah, and Daphne just evaporates, while Bloom's hair's sinking through her wings. You know, perfect ending to a reboot episode. We are now at the mid-season finale. Bloom and Damien are officially twins. Bloom knows this, Damien does not.
Hand over the other half of my flame.
Since when is it your flame?
Oh, she's mad. She's like, since when is it your flame? The Winx show up immediately, which is nice, so Bloom's not alone. But then they escape, and Vexius is right around the corner, but Bloom decides that this is the time to have everybody sit down for her to spill the new information. For 2 whole minutes.
Twin brothers.
This is the Damien twin reveal to the rest of them. Flora isn't surprised, you know, because neither are we. Regarding Damien, the Winx search for a spell to return the dragon flame to its rightful owner, and coincidentally, 2 floors above them is the Hall of Spells, which is the best spell collection in the entire world. Not magics, not the magic dimension, the world. The specialists are now in the Cloud Tower ruins, looking at Vexius and the Tricks' stuff. Brandon picking up that toy reminds me of the original Season 1 Episode 6, where Musa and Techna were looking around their room. Very quickly they fall into one of Vexius' traps. Very professional of them.
This is not just any library.
Where are the books?
Light Rock Fortress is so advanced that they just don't need books. Techna manages to hack into the magical database to find the spell that they're looking for, and that's good, that saves them time, and it saves us time too. According to the BBC iPlayer subtitles, orb number 3 tells them
to return magic to its rightful owner. Say Magica Returno Domini.
Cute. They're about to leave, and suddenly...
Disclaimer. This spell only works if your target believes the one who took his magic is unworthy to wield it.
I can't lie, I did think that was funny. I don't know why it looks like Aisha's telling Bloom off in this frame.
Get out! Now!
Vexius isn't your father!
You'll do anything to get your way, won't you?
Damien... Oh, no. No, Damien, no.
I'm your sister. We're twins, Damien.
Lies. Baby. Lies. Baby. Lies.
Oh, he does not. 1, he just does not want to listen. He's going through it. 2, why are they purposefully changing the saturation of his hair now that it's been established that they're related? They don't need to hide it anymore. They can make it pretty obvious to us. I think it's just ridiculous. These models don't look similar in any way.
Magico Returno Domini!
What I don't understand about the Magica Returno Domini spell is that surely you cast it at the person who's got the flame, right? Because it's to remove it from them? No, I don't know. To be fair, the spell does say Returno, so it's like making that person a magnet. I don't know, guys. My brain just can't. Bloom just burns with rage, and out of the flames emerges the Dragon Flame. At last, in her normal form, we get a full Dragon Flame reveal. Oh yeah, Daphne's okay and unaffected by Vexius. Of course, because she's a spirit. She convinces Bloom to break free. And this leads to the ugliest Winx transformation sequence I have ever seen in my life. I was not expecting a whole sequence for this upgrade. Before I watched, I had seen discourse about the Dark Bloom sequence, but not this. This was so bad that people just completely disregarded it. Clearly, this brand new sequence was not animated by Hamper Studio alongside the rest of the transformations. This was clearly some last-minute effort to replicate the movements in that transformation. Bloom's powers upgrade into this new outfit with a different color scheme, introducing more yellow instead of pink. And it kind of reminds me of She-Ra in a way. You can just tell side to side, the animation is not up to par with the rest of the transformations. And I hope we don't see this form again because I don't want to see this sequence. She's too far away in the final pose. Who approved this? The biggest disappointment about this is that it was spoiled a week before the release. Somebody found a way to access the BBC iPlayer episode thumbnails before they were published, and Bloom's upgrade was revealed in this thumbnail. In theory, it was the fault of whoever leaked this image, but regardless, as I was watching through iPlayer, I would have seen this before watching the episode anyway. So I see why nobody really cared about this form online. Nobody's reacting to it because it's been spoiled to us now. Oh well. Bloom says this spell without any aggression, any impact. It sounds a bit boring and it sounds a bit weak, but the spell itself looks decent enough.
That's a real dragon. You did it! Amazing! Let's go!
This magical adventure style Dragon Flame battle scene mid-season is low-key crazy, but I do like the reference to the second movie. Meanwhile, the tricks have been floating outside this entire time.
Patience, sisters.
Out of all the Winx this season, I think Flora had the worst luck in terms of connection to the story. Everybody else at least had some kind of episode of their own, except for Flora, whose only link into the story was Damien, and because of that, this is her moment to shine. So we get these horrible camera movements tracking her as she gets closer to Bloom and Damien in the fight, as Vexius is charging up his final attack towards Bloom, and this happens.
Flora, no!
Murder!
If you slow it down, you see that Flora pushes Bloom out the way with literally no emotion in her face.
Flora, I didn't want any of this to happen. Sorry.
No, this is our chance!
What?
Vexius's Dragon Flame has been snatched from him, and he just runs away. So he's gonna be back, guys. Yay! But anyway, the fortress is now collapsing, which is a shame because in that regard, Vexius got what he wanted.
What do we do?
Fly away?
Techna!
I always knew you were too weak.
I am not weak.
You are, Damien.
This bit is pissing me off. Why did Damien just follow Vexius anyway? Vexius just called him a soft-hearted fool. Damien knows that he's now related to Bloom and not to Vexius. He was just called weak. I don't understand. Overall, I think the animation in this mid-season finale was very, very crunchy, but they're slowly improving on the effects, except for that awful transformation. And there are some scenes that actually look quite good now. For example, inside of the Red Fountain spacecraft, the dim lighting looks kind of nice.
Vexius, give us the staff now. A deal is a deal.
Finally, the tricks come into play. They've been waiting for a while and they can finally demand the staff, which, as a reminder, is the key to the Omega Dimension, which they want in order to build an army to take over the magical universe. Yeah, that's it.
What did you just do?
Deal is off.
Never mind, the deal is off. Rest in peace to the Trix's plan. For now, I guess. Let's be real, there's gotta be some other way to enter the Omega Dimension. Like there was in the original series, right? The Trix go back to Cloud Tower's ruins, to cry, I guess, and they find the teachers trapped there.
Why would we help them? I hate Vexius so much, I would do anything to make his life worse.
I'm so ready to see Icy in part 2 of the reboot. I think she's made this reboot worth watching. She looks great, she sounds great, her behavior is entertaining. Good for you, Icy. What I've just realized is that it's always nighttime at Cloud Tower, and then suddenly the teachers go through the portal into Althea and it's daytime? And then it becomes nighttime in Althea anyway. Moving on. This mid-season finale did kind of feel like a full season finale. It reminds me of how the first 3 original seasons also ended in Althea at night, whereas the original season 1 episode 13 ended with the revelation that Bloom was actually adopted by her Earth parents, and that was when her big family search began in 2004. Now, Bloom knows that she has a twin brother, and she's questioning why Mike and Vanessa didn't tell her that she has a twin brother, but I'm assuming in part 2 it's going to be revealed that they don't know that, and that's how Bloom's going to get the revelation that they're not her real parents. So we'll see how things go.
Winx Club.
If Techno says so, we better do it.
Winx Club forever!
Either way, those were all my thoughts on these 3 episodes. I still think episodes 6 to 10 were my favourite segment of the reboot, out of the 3 that I divided my reviews into. I do think that final transformation did sour this finale for me quite a lot, and this transformation doesn't even have a name or anything, it's just an upgrade. Hopefully it doesn't become her permanent form, that's all I'm wishing for. But on that note, now we have to make a call to somebody who really has something they want to say about this reboot. So let's bring Drawing Diamonds into the video. I am now in the presence of a very opinionated Winxer. Everybody welcome Drawing Diamonds.
Is this where we're gonna add like boo sound effects?
No, I would never do that.
Wow. Mind you, you forced me here.
By this point, we've both caught up with the first 13 episodes of the series, and we need to discuss everything that we're feeling. But I want to give Drawing the spotlight for a second because I've been speaking way too much these past few weeks.
Oh my god, my loudest alarm.
Are you kidding me? Wait, that's your alarm?
Yeah.
What do you mean your alarm is Cosmix?
What else is there?
Drawing, you're not beating the season 8 allegations.
Okay! It's just that one alarm, I promise. I have other songs.
Like?
Cyrenics. I love the music.
Oh my god.
I love the music so I can get pissed off in the morning. Do you want to hear it?
Please show me. Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh my god.
First of all, hi everybody. I'm really glad that our last couple of videos had such positive reactions to it. Thank you guys. Unfortunately though, some of the feedback was I was too negative, and if you thought I was negative there,
oh, no.
You got a big storm coming.
Oh no.
It's been almost a month since the reboot came out, and I genuinely took so much time on my day to think about any of the goods. I can count all the positives on one hand, and still it will not be 5.
Oh my god.
Less than 5 even.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try and pull some positives out of you, just so it's not a roast of the reboot, because...
You can try.
Episode 1, A New Fairy in Althea. I dislike the pacing. Althea in 4 minutes, way too fast.
There's just too much happening and too little happening at the same time in one episode.
But did you know that her name is Aisha and you can find her name in the food on the fridge?
Backflips.
How many stars out of 5 would you give episode 1?
1.
Okay, fine. They must have known how bad the pacing of this episode was because of their inclusion of the narration in the beginning and then nowhere else in the series. They relied too much on returning viewers' prior knowledge of the series, so I would say 2 stars out of 5. Episode 2, Which Fairy is Which? Did you like this one?
I still really cannot believe Bloom left Althea so fast, and we try to feel bad for her. Oh no.
What would you give this out of 5 stars?
I want to say like a 2.
I would give it 3 stars. I just remembered it's the episode with the horrible classroom scene. Never mind. 2 stars. I didn't like the whole ew, don't be a witch dynamic. I thought they could have handled that completely differently. Episode 3, Winx vs. Trix. What would you give this?
A 4 out of 5.
Really?
I actually really like this episode for what it is. I like all the clever setup with the whole classroom lesson.
And the way Bloom earned her transformation. At first, I wasn't a big fan of it, but the more I watched it, I understood what they were going for. Episode 4, A Trick by the Trix.
I think like a 1 out of 5. The animation took a whole new dip in quality, so not a good episode.
Yeah, it looks so bad. I'm gonna give it a 1. But I love the songs. Episode 5.
1 out of 5. Nothing really redeemable.
Out of all the episodes, it's the one I would least want to watch again. I'm gonna give it a 1 as well. Episode 6.
3 out of 5. The way they fight the Trix is interesting and unique. And the Trix actually felt like a threat for once, so I'll give it its points there.
I think I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. Dark Bloom is a 4 for me.
I'll say a 4 too. I hate how Aisha's story is so quick and summarized and she's not even the main character of the episode. But Dark Bloom, I think concept is just too rushed into season 1, but it still was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, this isn't the same Dark Bloom we had before. This is just the emo
tween. Later skater.
Oh, that was so bad. The Dark Bloom episode was pure fan service and I fell for it. I stepped into the dark.
Dare I say, this was easily my favorite episode of the season.
I agree. Episode 8, Rock and Roll Fairies.
A 0 out of 5.
Oh.
It really sucks because it's Musa's only episode, really.
I'm gonna give it a 3. It could have been a 4 if it looked any better, but I'm just gonna say 3. Episode 9, The Simulation Room.
I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5. I like the new fear of the Trix that they're scared the other two will leave them, but I really don't understand Stella's because...
Oh my god, Stella's was horrendous. Just because of that, I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Episode 10, Stella's New Crush.
0 out of 5 instantly. This actually is my least favorite episode of the season.
I don't know. I liked the concept they were going for. I'm going to give it a 2 just because I enjoyed Bloom and Stella having their own moment, Bloom and Brandon having their own moment. I thought they were really fun together, but that fight scene totally ruined everything.
You can't escape me, Bloom.
Episode 11, A New Enemy.
I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. Honestly,
that's good.
This was honestly another highlight of the season. It's just a nice battle, honestly. At least by reboot standards.
I'm gonna give it a 3. Episode 12, Light Rock Fortress.
What even happens to the episode again? Like 2 out of 5?
It's when Bloom and Daphne have their really long conversation. Bloom's...
Nope, just 2 out of 5. Ugly ass Daphne.
To be honest, yeah, 2. Episode 13.
Another 2 out of 5. It feels like a season finale rather than the first half finale, and Damien just really pissed me off this whole episode, so...
They heard the term mid-season finale, and they emphasized the mid.
Yeah, literally.
I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 5.
The real highlight was Flora risking her life. We can't have a Winx Club project if Flora doesn't risk her life and die.
But, like, we've seen it 81 times before, you know?
There is just too much happening, really. There are too many seasons plot combined, like Dark Bloom, the whole backstory with Domino, crammed into the first half of the season, and it makes me scared knowing that this is only the 13 episodes. There are still 13 more.
That's a good point. I have no idea what's going to happen in the second half, but I kind of like that. I'm just excited to see where the story goes because clearly anything can happen. They're rearranging things, they're rewriting things. I'm curious. A few months ago, we ranked the transformation sequences, but do you still agree with your ranking?
No.
So, okay. Well, to remind you, you put Stella last and you put Bloom first. How do you feel about them now?
I think everybody except Musa has changed. Aisha is my least favorite now. After the Little Mermaid scene, I cannot give you anything else. Stella is still kind of boring, so I just put her up to 5. Bloom's gone down to a 3 because I like the animation. I like the visual effects, but why does it take like 4 scenes just to do absolutely nothing? Flora's grown on me a little more, so she's going up to 2. And Tekna is number 1 because honestly, every scene works out. It just looks great, so I'll give her points for that.
Nice. Okay, well, I'm glad I asked you because that's a decent change. I think your opinion on Bloom had changed a lot because of recency bias.
Yeah, I remember like clocking in the recording. It's like, it's going to change for sure, but for now...
Yeah, I'm going to say I still stand by my ranking, but Bloom and Flora are interchangeable. I've learned to respect Bloom's a lot more now. But if I were to add Bloom's upgrade transformation, it would be number like 11. It's so beyond the bottom of the list. It doesn't even belong on the list.
I would literally rewatch Aisha's Tynix sequence than that thing ever again.
Well, that won't take too long. Let's do it now. Done. done. Okay, let's keep going. How do you feel about the cast?
Well, let's look at what we're given.
Kate Bristol as Bloom.
I don't hate her as Bloom. I love her as Musa, but I think she's just too soft sounding in the reboot, and it's kind of hard to take her seriously in the more dramatic scenes when she sounds like Fireball. I have a twin?
I like how she sounds though. I just like Kate Bristol's voice.
Me too, honestly.
I wish she had a bit more aggression with the spells. I think they've already recorded for part 2 of the season, so it might be a bit too late.
Yeah.
But if we do happen to get a season 2, I hope that's something she does improve. But I do like her as Bloom. What do you think of Stella's voice?
I do like the emotion and delivery she does. She's like the only one in the cast that actually sounds genuine, but her high-pitched voice really drags her back.
If you think that's bad, I'd like to show you a clip of the Latin Spanish dub.
Oh god.
Here we go. I like Stella's voice. It's nothing like what we've had before, but I think it fits this Stella. How about Flora?
She's okay. I realized the voice actor's just like forcing the accent on her. It's like, oh.
Is she? I mean, yeah, she is, but I was kind of hoping in the Latin Spanish dub they'd make Flora have an English accent.
Oh my god. Why?
I thought that would be so funny. I think the cadence of her voice is really sweet. I think she does a good job.
Is this Japanese?
What do you think of Aisha's voice?
You know, she's not bad. She's kind of a step up from her previous voice actor.
In episode 7 especially, she does a good job with a few of the lines. I'm happy with how she sounds.
What's in the fridge that I have my name on? I wish I could tell you.
You'll see Aisha in the fridge.
How about Musa?
I mean, she's okay.
Ooh.
But consider that we had such good voice actors for her previously, I think she's okay.
It's a shame. She seems really sweet and
I love music and to sing as well, so it has just been such a great pleasure to voice her.
I don't know, sometimes there are some questionable line deliveries, but I don't know if that's on her end or if she's kind of wondering, what do I do with this script? Like,
this chocolate's giving me life.
Yeah, that one was weird. Tekna, I love Tekna's voice so much.
She just sounds so emotionless, which is like the point, but like she works for Tekna so well.
As a voice, I think she sounds really cool as Tekna, but not as Darcy, I'm afraid. I don't know what they were doing with that one. I do have to laugh though, I just saw this on her TikTok.
Can I get the link? I'll tell her.
No. She seems really fun, and she's even hanging out with Musa and Aisha's voices. Icy's voice, 10 out of 10.
Icy's voice is actually really good. It's kind of held back by the dialogue sometimes, but in this cast, she's the real highlight.
Yeah, incredible job. So cool. Stormy was alright. I have nothing bad to say about Stormy, to be honest.
Like, she's nothing crazy, but she's not bad. She's just there.
My opinion's just soured by the, why don't you give it a go? In her case, it will be a stop. Like, what do you think of each song?
This is the worst soundtrack since Mr. The Abyss.
Are you sure?
And that is, yeah, literally.
Are you sure?
It literally gets worse after Step Into the Dark because all these songs are so forgettable. They're just okay. They don't really stand out too much.
Okay, but can you agree that Step Into the Dark is really good?
It's honestly my favorite song on the soundtrack, honestly. I cannot deny it.
That's fine. I'll take that. Did you watch the Out Now video with Illy in it?
No.
Have you heard her accent?
No.
Hey, it's Ellie here. I want to let you know that Step Into the Dark is out now. Such
Okay,
a
Dutch.
pleasure to be...
Did you just say Dutch?
Yeah.
Scottish? Oh, that's not.
Thank you so much to the Winx. Go stream it now.
You could tell she was having so much fun on the Rome premiere. Well done to her. The song's great. Now that we're recording this after the Netflix release, I wanted to ask, have the songs stood out to you in any specific way, in any other language?
No. I find it extremely weird that for some reason, most languages did not dub most of the songs because they wanted to promote the English soundtrack for some reason.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Just saying.
Where does this idea come from? But anyways,
I mean, seeing the lack of effort and weird quality that some of these languages put into their songs, maybe they dodged a bullet because otherwise we'd be hearing a ton of bad versions of these songs.
I don't think any other dubs really stood out other than the French Winx Universe song, unironically.
Yeah.
The singer did a good job with the song.
A lot of singers who had a return to the franchise in 10 or more years suddenly started popping up in the reboot. So we have callbacks to previous singers in the English dub. the French dub, the Brazilian dub, the German dub, and I think that's really cool that they were able to get all of these people on board again. It's just a shame that only 3 songs were dubbed in each language. Even Italy didn't dub Superpower or Step Into the Dark. It's been a while since there's been an English-only version in the series. I think the last one was All the Magic in the first movie.
Yeah, and that was like 2007.
I recommend you guys to listen to Forever Winx in Swedish. Dutch is good too. Japanese. Korean. In my opinion. I don't know about the lyrics for those ones.
Let's start with the characters. I can describe all of them in one word. Flanderized.
Flanderized?
Bloom is like the main standout, but she has all this plot, and we don't know much about her character. Like, what happened to that more dorky side we see in her in like season 1 or something? We don't really see that here.
Well, I don't know. I think it's important to acknowledge that these are somewhat new versions of the characters. For instance, here's my take on Reboot Bloom. I questioned where they were going with her at first, but now I can honestly say I like her character. Bloom seems to be a lot more caring about the people around her this time, which I think increases her likability as a protagonist. She's grateful for her parents gifting her the bike in the first episode and realizes how much meaning there was behind it. She's careful not to get too close to Sky at first. She respects his pre-existing relationship with Diaspro. She tried to connect with and relate to Damien as much as she could. A couple of times I remember she makes sure that Techna feels comfortable in group settings. She's mindful that Musa deserves to be in the spotlight during her concert. She went out of her way to check on Stella during her date and ensure her safety, while bringing Brandon along with her so he wasn't left in the dark. The whole time they also focus on how she's afraid of losing control over her powers, especially considering how destructive fire can be. She wouldn't want to hurt anybody. In general, they've done a good job at showing her respectful and generous nature. To me, this is a very likable version of Bloom. However, she did physically push people a lot. I don't know why she did that so often. I would say Aisha and Mitzi were the only two to have bad experiences with Bloom, but that was Dark Bloom who hinted at Aisha's dance passion in front of her parents, and Mitzi... No, I can't defend her there. Reboot Mitzi genuinely has not done anything wrong.
We have Stella. Her whole backstory with her parents has changed into, well, they just fight now.
I'd say a lot of things Stella does need to be acceptable for her parents, such as her opting for seeing Prince Luke instead of dating Brandon freely. I'm curious to know what the real King Radius is like, because that simulation was definitely a nightmare.
Which is so wrong, considering that the original, their relationship was so valued. Flora was okay, I guess, but to be honest, she was always like the most like simple, the basic one of the group with not much story.
Yeah, I can't really say I learned much about her either, other than the fact that Arms of the Earth is like her go-to spell.
However, I really hate her story with Damien. It is super forced.
Yeah.
Flora keeps coming back to him, even though he keeps saying F off.
Yeah, unfortunately, she's so attached to Damien, but hopefully the supposed inclusion of her family life in the second half of the season will let us delve more into her character.
We need Helia back, please.
People are saying that Helia was spared by not being included.
Honestly, good for him. Musa's just, her backstory seems to be changed a little bit. Instead of wanting to bring music together with her family, she just needs music to support her dad. Speaking of her dad, it's so obvious that she's white now, so where's the East Asian culture?
I enjoyed Musa's episode, and it was nice to see her perform solo again after so long. Her experiencing stage fright before singing was definitely a manifestation of the pressure she's putting on herself for the music avenue to work out, for her to support her father, but I can't take it seriously with the visuals they provided to this fear in the next episode, because she's very lucky that Riven isn't so messy this time around, but her constant walking away and avoiding him did confuse me a lot at first. There's a tiny clash between her and Stella in episode 2, which reminded me a lot of their OG season 1 dynamic, but I thought they could have gone into that a bit more.
I think Aisha is the worst case just because she had all this backstory in season 2 and she was such a fundamental character of the Winx.
It must have been harder to insert Aisha into a season she wasn't originally in, but the story is quite different, so maybe it wasn't as challenging. Her personality is now exercising in her dorm gym and being unafraid of basically anything except her parents. With the gym side potentially being a dangerous stereotype, her parents are crazy strict this time around, to the point where their status as parents is kind of questionable, considering she must call them Your Majesty even when it's just the three of them, like damn.
They don't hug me, girl. Which is kind of ironic because in the original they hug all the time. So what?
Yeah.
Where'd they get this from?
That was their first interaction, wasn't it?
Yeah, literally.
Them hugging when she got to Andros. I wish there had been a way to have her more relevant to the plot, since her attachment to the story was what made her entry into OG Season 2 so interesting. At least she's not serving the same role she did in Fate the Winx Saga as the rule follower and power opposite of Bloom. I am terrified to see what will happen between her and Lord Pontiff's unnamed son.
I am disgusted.
But hopefully it's a friendlier thing where she connects with him over her yearning for his level of freedom and confidence with dancing in public as a noble, kind of like Anne from back in her original childhood flashbacks.
And then Tekna. You could literally never make me hate Tekna, but I don't like how she's so shy now. Instead of being the more confident one she was in season 1.
Well, Tekna did become my favorite in the reboot, which certainly shocked me because I thought they would just put her to one side. We get a few occasions where she says the wrong thing at the wrong time, which I did actually find funny. The way her voice actress delivers the lines works perfectly for this version of Tekna. Personality-wise, she's very different from the original Tekna, but I'm quite accepting of this change. Her position in the group, however, is still the same as always, because without her, none of the side missions would be possible. Like, Bloom, what do you mean you're going to take a picture of the Cloud Tower map and rely on your watch battery to not die when you're there? Good thing she's always the shield girl in the battles too, which was carried on from like World of Winx in season 8. But it would be nice to see her have some attack spells again. I feel like they're missing out on some techno-magic creativity here.
The tricks are also okay. I like the fact that their fear is that the other two will abandon them, like we already mentioned. But I also don't like that they're not the main villains anymore. They're just sidekicks again, under the control of Vexius, which just goes into the whole men part of the reboot now.
Yeah, that is a very big topic. We've got Bloom's story being linked to Damien now. We've got the tricks always responding to Vexius.
Then the specials are also considered the first responders to situations.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have to show up all the time.
It's just so forced. Speaking of men, let's talk about the worst one. Damien, the character I probably hate the most. He is just so forced in, and the story has to revolve around him. I just don't like him.
I wish I could say I'd like to see a lot less of Damien, but that definitely isn't going to happen in the second half. I'm fine with him being in the story now. I really just cannot get behind his appearance because there is such a stark disconnect between him and the rest of the characters, so I can't take any of his moments seriously. Like, how am I supposed to believe that he's Bloom's twin?
He looks like he's from a different show. He does not fit into the Winx universe in any way.
It's a shame he ran off with Vexius during the mid-season finale, but I guess I understand that someone coming up to you and saying you're their long-lost twin wouldn't be convincing enough for you to just drop everything and go with them immediately.
I think what really pisses me off about Damien is that we know more about him than almost any of the Winx.
Yeah.
We know more about him than Aisha, Musa, and Tekna, probably combined. He has daddy issues, he's overlooked, he has insecurities, he's mysterious, he's, well, a lot of things.
His desire isn't to be evil, but, you know, he's always placed in that position and he doesn't seem to like it. His magic is stronger when he's feeling positive emotions, but because he's never been treated very nicely, he now treats everybody else with that same lack of respect, and that just takes a toll on his powers. It would, however, be interesting to see Damien subvert the expectations for him to transition into a male fairy and possibly accept his warlock status if the prejudice towards witches is challenged in the second half, which I hope it is, because Flora mentioned in episode 1 how not all witches are bad, so I thought they would explore the fluidity between good and bad, but the presentation of fairies and witches in the reboot so far, I'd say has been extremely stereotypical, which I don't like. Maybe it's to do with the actions of the ancestral witches that things suddenly became so divided between fairies and witches. Maybe Faragonda and Griffin get along because fairies and witches were closer before whatever happened 16 years ago. I need somebody, probably Damien, to call out the fact that he's been cornered in the warlock side with no way out because of that small ounce of darkness due to his upbringing, and that the whole sorting hat system shouldn't be what determines everything in one go. Also, why the name Damien? Is it meant to be similar to Daphne? Daphne, Damien?
I mean, I guess.
What do you think of Daphne?
Ugly. Thank God she died.
Oh.
Look at her! She's ugly!
Okay. Her cheese string spirit form isn't really helping.
We also have Diaspro, completely flanderized into this stereotypical blonde, dumb white girl who is obsessed with boba tea and sounds like that.
Oh, my sweet Prince Charming.
And her hair, did no one question it? Poor decisions.
A few things I want to see moving forward. In the second half of the season, I low-key want to see Bloom and Diaspro have a confrontation without Sky present. I also want to see Darcy actually get to interact with Riven, since it was only mentioned briefly in episode 4 and not really shown. Oh, more visual information on the battle between the Company of Light and the Ancestral Witches would be nice, as well as a proper backstory for the Tricks. How did their connection with Griffin really come about? More of Vexus's past as Oratel's right hand in Domino would also be useful to see.
Next up, we have the animation. I don't really have anything to say that's good. It's just, apparently we're promised cinematic quality. Yeah, which cinema am I going to watch this in? I don't know what happened here. The reboot was in the works for years, and this is what we get.
Some small animation mistakes are forgivable, but when there are so many obvious things that keep getting left out, it's just... Some of the physics are completely wrong in these shots. There's too much wrong to not be able to address it. It's not fair that this is what's been delivered.
I think the only real highlight of the animation are the transformation sequences, but they were done by a totally different studio, so it's not the best comparison.
And that studio should have done the whole show because their stuff looked so good.
When you look at Musa and Bloom's transformation sequence, and then you look at a random episode, I just get so disappointed.
The complete whiplash between the transformations and the rest of the show.
I think it's actually hilarious when they use that one flying scene in episode 4, and it just stands out like a sore thumb.
Oh yeah, that thing's so bad.
It's hilarious.
So bad. And don't get me started on that skirt shot. The animation is not great, unfortunately, but it was done by hand. There's no information about this quote-unquote service that they hired to animate, but yeah, at least it seems human. A big animation point that I wrote down was that there are several scenes where the wings are perpendicular to the camera, and because they're paper thin, it looks like they're missing. Not considering the angle of the wings properly causes an unappealing shape towards the camera, so I hope the animators do consider this moving forward. I hope spring 2026 is a reasonable deadline that's been placed for the second half of the season, and not one that will pressure the animators behind the scenes once more. It's getting to a point where I do feel bad for nitpicking so many of these animation errors, but there are so many that, in my eyes, could have been avoided so easily. I would want to say we should keep in mind that we're not the target demographic of the show anymore, but it does seem they were trying to make something that both newer and returning audiences would want to watch. So honestly, I do actually wish for a season 2, so we can see where they go from here and whether or not the reception that part 1 has received will make them want to make adjustments. If there are people behind the scenes who want to put in the time and effort into improving the solid base that they have so far, then I really hope they're at least given the opportunity to do so.
I personally don't think I'll be tuning in for the second half of the reboot. It's just unbearable.
Yes, you will, because I need somebody to review it with.
Are you kidding me? If I end up watching the second half of the reboot, it's because I'm actually being forced to and not because I want to. Yeah. I'm just letting you guys know beforehand. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm just being forced to.
But anyway, thank you so much for coming on here to accompany me in reacting to this whole reboot. We do have more ideas. I would like us to rank the songs in the album because I want to dissect them a bit more, but I want to leave that for another video. So hopefully you'll see us again in that one.
I like to say hopefully as if you're not the whole behind all of it. Like, you can control a girl.
I don't know. I think I need a break. I've reacted to too much of this reboot. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who watched these reviews. Even though our opinions may not align all the time, and my opinions can always be questionable, such as me liking the Dark Bloom sequence, I'm glad you took some time to hear what I had to say, because I really enjoy this kind of style now as well. Even though it takes ages to edit. Anybody who does this kind of stuff, I respect you so much. I don't know how you do it, but it's admirable. I will be reviewing the second half when it's out too.
and I'll be here.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. But once again, thank you so much for the positive reception to the whole review series. I'm going to try and transition to voice videos more now, just because I see potential with more ideas coming up that I couldn't have done before. So please subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for the rest of my Winx Club and Winx Club The Magic is Back themed videos. I will see you all in the next one, and until then, my name is Winx Club Newsflash, and you will find my name on the food in the fridge.
Uncomfortable with argument.